welcome to the channel. I'm back to break down this 10-game slate on DraftKings for NBA DFS. Last night's slate being absolutely crazy before lock. We had a bunch of different value options with the Detroit side, the Brooklyn side, all of that fun stuff. Hopefully you guys had a good night. I had a good night for sure. Again, I was able to cash in my lineup that I have pulled up here. I mentioned I'm going to try to start sharing with you guys my lineups. I have had a really good start to the year. I've won all but one slate, and it's really been tied into my projections. I'm really happy with how they've been faring early on in the season. So this is my lineup last night. You can see I went with LeBron at the top. He was only 1.8% owned. This is the ownership in the big $15 tournament over there on DraftKings. I'll always show you guys that one. I think tonight is a $20 entry fee on that one, but that's the ownership that you'll see on the screen. So LeBron with a 55, I had Karis LeVert 75% owned. He had 60.5 with that Brooklyn value. Josh Jackson 40, Jeremiah Grant put up 39.5. I had Christian Wood, which was the one guy on my lineup that didn't end up with the fire emblem next to his name, with 38.25. Dylan Brooks, I had mentioned I was high on it. A 5.5 price tag. He put up 43.25, and then I had Joe Harris and Mason Plumlee. So that lineup put up 346.75 last night. I did, just like for full transparency, I did have Damian Lillard in this top spot here. And I saw my lineup was doing really good with that. I had 10 entries in this $10. So with some late swap flexibility. So what I did was I actually swapped over to LeBron because I had LeBron projected for more points in my projection system. It was a matter of if LeBron was going to play last night. And he got the full go, so I did late swap on LeBron. So I had another lineup here. This one cashed in for $40 an entry, but I had another lineup with Damian in it that cashed for $30 an entry. So yeah, just for full transparency, that was the reasoning there. So I late swapped over to LeBron on 5 of my entries. I had Damian Lillard in the other 5. I thought about going to CJ McCollum, and I think that would have fared me better than Dame, actually. But I trust my projections, and I like Dame more. CJ McCollum ended up putting up a 50 spot, so would have been nice if I did that. But that's a little lesson for you in itself before we kick things off for this slate. If you're sitting there and you're up top and there's two guys closely projected, you could always late swap to ensure that if one has a bigger game than the other, you're able to cash in on that big prize. So that was my reflection on last night. Another good night for me. If you're interested in my Patreon package, as mentioned, I do have a NBA DFS Patreon package where you can get access to all of my NBA projections, my data sheet, my player stats, my team stats, my play context stats, my core plays, injury impact insights, and NBA Discord chat access. So you can ask me questions all the way up until lock every single day. Figure out some good plays, figure out which teams are struggling in transition, which teams are struggling on the glass, giving up those offensive rebounds, that kind of thing. Just have access to ask me any questions that you'd like leading up to lock, and then you can follow me over on Twitter at KJK_DFS, where I have started to tweet out my top value play of each and every slate. Last night, my top value play was Taurean Prince at 3,100 before lock. I liked him for 9x his price tag, and he did have a decent game, nothing too crazy. He went out there and put up 17.25 DK points, which is pretty respectable for the price tag, but not as good as some of my other top plays that I've tweeted out. So been doing pretty good on those. Go ahead and follow me over there if you want to get a sneak peek as to my top projected play every night. And with that being said, all that stuff out of the way, let's go ahead and start breaking down this slate game by game. So the first game, New York at Cleveland right now. This one comes in with a 216 over under. Something that you're going to notice very quickly is we don't really have a lot of games with high totals on the slate as far as the totals that are released right now. There are some totals that haven't been released yet, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one throughout the day. But first game that we'll talk about is Cleveland taking on New York. 216 over under with a 3.5 point favorite that are the Cleveland Cavaliers. So not expected to be a game that's loaded with a bunch of talent, but if I'm looking to guys in this one, it does all start with Andre Drummond at the top at 8.7. Andre Drummond, a very good rebounder on the glass and a very good fantasy point per minute producer. At 8.7, I do think he could pay off this price tag taking on this New York front court, which doesn't really scare me, and guys like Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson. Julius Randle on the other side at 8.2. He's a guy that I've been really liking early on in the season due to his price tag not being up to where it needed to be. It was at 7.7 and 7.5, now it's at 8.2, so his price tag did get a bit of an increase. So not really sure how my projection model is going to like him compared to how it did when he was in the mid 7K range, but He did put up 61 DK points last time out, which will get you there no matter what. So Julius Randle, a guy that's getting a lot of involvement in the offense, he just comes in at 8-2. As we move along the slate, there might be some other forwards that are cheaper that we may want to have some interest in. RJ Barrett at 7-1 is the main dog in this offense, getting a ton of usage to start the season, playing a ton of minutes, 34, 37, and 38 minutes, 34, 21, and 44 DK points. So, he would be the guy looking to as well, and he is only 7-1 in comparison to the guy like Julius Randle, who I mentioned is priced up in the 8K range now, so it makes sense to play some RJ Barrett. Kevin Love was ruled out last game, so it'll be interesting to keep an eye on him. He wasn't able to play Tuesday, and then there's not really much of an update if he's able to go or not, as well as Kevin Porter Jr., who's been out as well. So if both of these guys are out, and Kevin Porter will remain out we already got the update on that. That's going to give a bump to Cedi Osman. So at Cedi Osman at 5-1 would be a good value play. And then, of course, on the cheaper end, a guy like a Dante Exum, who did see more minutes last time out. Of course, it was a bit of a blowout, but he saw 23 minutes. He put up 23 DK points, and at only 3-3 if he's going to see some more minutes with them being thin on their rotation. He could be an interesting play. And then the other guy you got to keep an eye on is Alec Burks, who is listed as questionable in this one. If he's out, that would give a bump up to some New York guards. Guys like Elfrid Payton would become a much better play at 5-5. At 5-5, Elfrid Payton already is a pretty decent play. He's kind of a hit or miss. I have mentioned this every time I review Elfrid Payton, but he's probably going to go out there and either put up 50 for you or he's going to put up like 10. There's no in between with him, unfortunately. It's just the way he plays. But you could have interest in him. Shit. So you could have interest in Elf, and then Reggie Bullock would be the next guy at 3-7. Reggie Bullock would probably get a lot more playing time. And the guy that can shoot it from behind the arc, he could put up a big game as well. So those are the guys I'd be looking to in this one. Moving on to the next one, Golden State at Detroit. This game comes in with a 223 over-under. So, a pretty respectable total in comparison to the rest of the slate. 3.5-point favorites are the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry still at 9.6. I do like him at this price tag. Last time out, he was priced at 9.3, and I was all over him. And he shot very poorly from behind the arc in the first half. He ended up shooting 5 for 15 overall from behind the arc, but we all know what Steph Curry is capable of behind the arc, and if he can just get it going, at only 9.6, he shot 15 three-pointers last time, 25 shot attempts overall. We know the shot volume's there. It's just a matter of if they fall. I do think he could definitely pay off that price tag for you if he gets hot. We're going to have to keep an eye on the injury news with Derrick Rose and Blake Griffin being ruled out last game. They were rested. I'm assuming they're going to be back and good to go, and if that's the case, I do like both of those guys. Some of these value plays that we were playing last time out aren't going to be as appealing down here, like a DeLon Wright. A Josh Jackson might still be respectable at 4-5, but I'm going to be more interested in playing Blake Griffin and Derrick Rose, honestly. If they come back, they're the ones that are getting all the volume, and last time out, Blake Griffin played 44 minutes. He put up 48 DK points at only 6'9". That'll make you very happy. Last time he was 7-1, so he actually did get a price decrease. And Derrick Rose comes in at 6K compared to 6'6" at last time out. Same rule applies. Taking on this Golden State team, not exactly the best defensively. I do like both of those guys. Those are the guys I'd be looking to in this one. And then Andrew Wiggins and Kelly Oubre remain a little too cheap, in my opinion. There's no Draymond Green. They're playing mid-30s to 40 minutes or so. 39.25 DK points last time out for Andrew Wiggins. I really liked him. My projection model really liked him. And Kelly Oubre, same rule applies. He played 30 minutes last time out, 28.25 DK points. He hasn't really had that ceiling game yet, but we're just kind of waiting on it. I think this could be the one taking on Detroit. Not really too afraid of them as far as their defensive presence. So I definitely would be playing some Kelly Oubre. And the only other guy I'd mention is an Eric Pascal, who, is supposed to play a lot more center, but he is 5K, so I'm not really too interested with him at his price tag. And then it'll be interesting to see how many minutes the Warriors are willing to give Kevin Looney, because there is no more Marquise Chris. Marquise Chris is done for the year. We saw Kevon Looney get 17 minutes last time out, so if he's able to get up there in minutes, you could see him pay off his price tag. So he'd be the last one I'd mention. Not too sure I'm looking to go there. I'd be looking to the main guys that we discussed, Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Kelly Oubre. And then on the Detroit side of the ball, I really want to focus in on Blake Griffin and Derrick Rose. Moving on to the next one, Boston at Indiana. This game, as far as the total, comes in with a 2-18 over-under right now. 1.5 point favorites are the Boston Celtics, and both of these teams are pretty good defensively, so I'm not really too sure I have a bunch of interest in this game. The good news is it is expected to be a tight game, which when you're dealing with two teams like this that can blow out other teams and have been involved in some blowouts, that'll help your case as far as their minutes are concerned. But a 2-18 over-under, not expected to be really a big pace game, and both teams are very good defensively, so a guy like Jason Tatum at 8.8, not really sure I'm looking to pay up for him when I could just go down to his teammate who has similar upside in Jaylen Brown at 7.5. Jaylen Brown, looking at his game logs, he's had 31, 42, and 52 DK points, and he's stuck right around that 7.5 price tag, so you can still go to him if interested. As mentioned, the game environment isn't the best. Domantas Sabonis on the Indiana side would be the place I'm looking to because of his double-double upside. You get that double-double bonus over here on DraftKings. And he's put up a double-double every single game so far. 58, 55, and 41 DK points at 8.6. I do think that he's still pretty appropriately priced, but with room for upside. He's not up in the 9K range yet. So I like Domantas Sabonis. And then that's kind of when my interest kind of fades in this game, to be honest. I'm not really looking to play anyone just because of the slow-paced game. I think there's some better spots that we can target. Of course, there always is price tags you can target. On the low end, I do think that TJ Warren at 5.9 is a guy, just because of his price tag, could definitely blow away this price tag. He got 38 minutes last time out, 27 the time before, but I think that's just because he was getting conditioned. I think we're going to see him more so towards that 38 range. Last time out was this same Boston team, so something unique with this NBA season. We're going to see a lot of back-to-backs, teams playing each other multiple times in a row, and if you're looking at the game logs, a lot of these guys were a little underwhelming last time out because of the pace in this game. So not a ton of interest in this one. Moving further along, Toronto at Philadelphia. Right now, Joel Embiid is questionable, but he's expected to play. He's listed as probable in the latest injury report, but you never know with Embiid, so just keep an eye on the news. But he is expected to play. As far as the pace in this one, this game comes with a 218.5 over under. Once again, a total that's not exactly going to get you too excited. And 2.5 point favorites are the Philadelphia 76ers. As far as who I'm looking to in this one, with Embiid back, you could definitely go to him at 9.8. I do think that we're waiting for an Embiid upside game, and it could be this one because he's only put up 48, 52 DK points. I say only, but Embiid's capable of a lot more. After getting that rest last time out, he's fully rested and good to go. So I would be looking at him. Maybe not a top priority for me. I had mentioned last time out Pascal Siakam, a guy that doesn't get enough credit around the league, a very good basketball player. He's 8.2. Last time he put up 49.75 DK points, and with this guy's abilities, he could definitely put up 60 on a given night. He can shoot it from behind the arc. He can get to the rim. He can do it all. He can block. He can play defense. So Pascal Siakam at 8.2 would be my favorite upside option on the Toronto side. And then as far as my favorite upside option at the price tag, it would be Chris Boucher. Chris Boucher, an absolute fantasy point per minute beast. He was 5.3 last time out. He put up 53 DK points. He only got 28 minutes, and he put up 53 DK points. So that just goes to show you what this guy's capable of. He shot 3 for 4 from behind the arc, which is going to help you on DraftKings where you get that half-point bonus for those three-pointers. So I do like Chris Boucher on the cheaper end in this one. Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet in the mid-range you can play. Tobias Harris, of course, you can play. Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, and Embiid are the big three in this offense. And Tobias, similar to Chris Boucher, is my favorite price tag upside on this team because he's 7K compared to the other two studs, and he could go out there and put up a 50 spot for you on the right night. But not the best game environment. Once again, I think we're going to move along further to this next one, where this one I do expect to be a much better game environment. We do not have a total on this one right now. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it. But right now, the Washington Wizards come in at 5.5 point favorites. I expect this game to be a pretty hefty total in comparison to the ones that we've discussed so far. So like I said, I'd keep an eye for that one. And I have a feeling I'm going to have a lot of interest in this one. Westbrook at the top, going to be back at 9.7. Compared to his 10.3 price tag last time out, I do think that Russ could definitely get you there. This price tag and the Chicago defense does not scare me. This guy's getting a ton of usage. Last time out, we saw him shoot 19 times. The time before, we saw him shoot 22 times. And last time out, he shot very badly and still put up 57 DraftKings points. This guy shot 6 for 19 and put up 57 DraftKings points. He had 15 rebounds, 12 assists. Russell Westbrook has that triple-double upside. You get that bonus on DraftKings every single time out, so I like him. Bradley Beal at 9.3. With this game environment, I do think this is kind of a and their price tags really at 9.3. We've already seen them both get there in that Orlando game on the 26th, and they could definitely do it again. Bradley Beal putting up 58 DK points that time around. Both of them are going to get a ton of minutes, and both of them are going to get a ton of usage. Zach Levine on the other side at 8.4. Zach Levine was a guy I was very high on his last time out, taking on the Golden State Warriors, and only 7.9. I thought he was too underpriced. And at 8.4, I think he's more appropriate price, but there's definitely still room for upside against this Washington team. It's going to be an up-tempo game, my projection. Unfortunately, we don't have an over-under right now, but I'm predicting it to be an up-tempo game, and Zach Levine can definitely get you there. At 8.4, he's the top dog in this Chicago offense. So be looking at him. Now, the interesting part of this is Lauri Markkanen is ruled as questionable. If he's out, if he's in, he's going to be a great play, but if he's out, that's going to give a bump up to a guy like Wendell Carter Jr. and a bump up to a guy like Otto Porter Jr. So, I would like Otto Porter a lot more in that case, so that would be something to keep an eye on. Wendell Carter Jr. has been very underpriced to start the season. We've seen him priced at 5K and 5.1. He did get a price up to 6.1. However, with the matchup taken on Washington, I think I'm still going to have a bunch of interest in him because at 6.1, I think he can put up another similar performance to last time. He put up 44 DK points. If he puts up 44 DK points at only a 6.1 price tag, that's still going to make you very happy. And then Otto Porter Jr. at 5.4. So far, we've seen him 21, 19, and 23 minutes. So it's a matter of if Lauri Markkanen's in, if Lauri Markkanen's out, we could see that bump up to 30 minutes or so, and he would become a good value play. And that is pretty much my overall breakdown in this one. Some of the value plays we played last time out, like a Raul Neto and all these guys, we're not really going to be looking to because Russell Westbrook is back, and now they're overpriced. DraftKings priced all those guys up. The last guy I would mention is Kobe White at 6.5. I do think he's a little underpriced for the matchup. 36 minutes last time out, he put up 36 DK points. He was 6.6, now he's down to 6.5, so you get a price decrease. And I have a feeling I'm going to be liking some Kobe White. Moving further along, Milwaukee taking on the Miami Heat. Giannis at the top at 10.8. This game comes in with a 222.5 over-under with a 5.5 point spread. Jimmy Butler is expected to be out in this one, so that's going to open up some usage for the Miami side of the ball. Guys that I would be looking to, it all starts with Goran Dragic at 5.8. A guy that's played 27 and 26 minutes and has put up right around 40 DK points both times out. This game is expected to be a real competitive one, so we could see him get up to 30 minutes or so, and he's a very good fantasy point per minute producer, so we do like Goran Dragic at 5.8. That's a little underpriced with no Jimmy Butler. Same rule applies to Tyler Hero. These guys are going to get a ton of usage in the offense. Tyler Hero hasn't really put up a big game yet on the season. Maybe some people will log into the DraftKings lobby, look at his game logs, not be impressed, and then decide not to play him, but it makes sense to be playing some Tyler Hero. And then Duncan Robinson at 5K, a guy that can shoot it from behind the arc and can get hot and put up a big point total. We saw him put up 32 DK points last time out. 7 for 13 behind the arc, so that just goes to show you he's not afraid to shoot it, and if he gets hot at 5K, he can surpass that price tag. And then as far as Kendrick Nunn is concerned at 4K, with no Jimmy Butler last time out, we only saw him play 8 minutes on the 23rd, so not really sure that I am looking to go to Kendrick Nunn. There is no 25th game log for him, though, so let's see how he grades out my model, but definitely a big bump for Goran Dragic, definitely a big bump for Tyler Hero. Goran Dragic, of course, getting a lot of on-ball duty, ball handling duty, so you got to like him. And then Giannis at 10.8 is an interesting play. Really, when it comes down to Giannis, I'm really just concerned if the opposing team can stay in the game. He is pretty much matchup proof. Of course, we want him in up-tempo games if possible, but with a 5.5 point spread in this game, expected to stay close. That's going to automatically make me have some interest in Giannis. It's just a matter of if there's enough value to fit him in our lineups. But in a close game, you got to have interest in Giannis. And then Jrue Holiday would be my favorite play on the Milwaukee side for his price tag. I do think that at 6.7, he's underpriced. He hasn't really put up a big game yet, but I think we're just waiting on the night that he blows that price tag away because we know the upside that Jrue Holiday has. This guy has 50-point DraftKings upside, so At only 6'7", it would make sense to throw him in there, maybe get him low owned, and he could definitely put up a big score. And then Chris Middleton at 7'7", I do think is priced appropriately, but this guy is a very talented player. Doesn't get talked about enough. Can shoot it from behind the arc. He was 6 for 8 against Golden State when he put up that 49-point DK point performance, and he only played 26 minutes in that one because it was a blowout. So he put up 50 points in 26 minutes. Once again, in a close game, Chris Middleton you could definitely be looking to. A guy like Bobby Portis, who I had interest in a lot the last few times out in games that were expected to be blowouts. Not really looking to go there. He got a price bump up to 5K, and he was only 4-7 last time out, so I'd be fading Bobby Portis, a guy I've been promoting, but this time around, not really looking to go there. Orlando at OKC. Nikola Vucevic at the top at 8-3. This game comes in with a 219.5 over-under currently. A 5-point favorites are the Orlando Magic. And who I'm looking to at the top, I mean, we do have to mention Nikola Vucevic, of course. And at 8-3, he is pretty affordable. Last time out, he was a pretty popular option at only 8-3. He kind of put up a dud. He only put up 35 DK points, so I'm hoping that might have some people get off of him. But at 8-3, Vucevic and this guy's usage in this offense, he could blow that price tag away. He only shot 1 for 4 from behind the arc last time out. And he is a guy that can stroke it from behind the arc for a center, so he offers you some upside there. And he offers you some upside as far as the double-double bonus. He wasn't able to get that double-double bonus last time. He missed it by 2 rebounds, but he's a double-double machine. I'd expect him to get back on track on this one. And I'm not at all too worried about the defensive Al Horford or, Kem Birch or any of these guys. I mean, Al Horford is a good defender. It's just at 8-3, I don't think that Nikola Vucevic isn't going to get there. And I do like him. The other guys in this game, I mean, only a 219.5. You're seeing a trend right now. There's not a lot of really fast-paced games in this slate, so the ones that are going to be fast are really going to stick out. Terence Ross at 5'3 is the guy that's been really popular the first couple slates early on, but he was only 4'5 and 4'7. After putting up 33 and 30 DK points, I think that we might want to kind of fade him this time around just because of the price tag increase and his popularity. I wouldn't be surprised if he's popular again, and we could probably find some other options that I've mentioned or will mention later on that are around the same price tag that we could go to. Al Horford is a guy that we will have interest in at 5'9". He's been playing 29 and 29 minutes the first 2 games. 6'1 and 6K, I'd expect him to be very involved. It's just a matter of time before he puts up that big 40-point game, and I think this is one that he could get that going, and only at 5'9", that'll make you very happy with his price tag. Aaron Gordon is a guy that has been limited on his minutes, so I've been telling you guys to fade him. He only put up 11 DK points last time out. He did get a price tag decrease down to 6'3". But if his minutes are going to continue to be limited, I'm not interested in playing a guy that's on a minutes limit in tournaments because we need all the upside that we can get out of these guys. And if he's going to be a minutes limit, I'm not looking to go there. Evan Fournier would be the last guy that I'd have interest in at 5'6". I had mentioned a lot of people playing Terence Ross, and Evan Fournier is around the same price tag, and he's the starter and the guy that usually gets the more minutes. 31, 29, and 28 DK points the last 3 times out. I think he could get some more minutes. 31, 29, and 28 minutes. If he gets there up towards the 35-minute range, if he gets hot, he could definitely make you very happy at his price tag. So those would be my top options. I didn't mention Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Of course, he's the number 1 option in this offense. But at 8-1, he's got to get you 50 DK points, and it's just a matter of whether he can get there in this matchup. I'm not too concerned about the matchup, so depending upon my lineup construction and stuff, he would make sense. A ton of usage. It's just I do think he's priced pretty appropriately at 8-1 to the point of where he has to get there. He's got to get 45, 50 DK points. And is he capable? Absolutely. But I'd like to target guys underpriced if at all possible, and we've mentioned some other guys that are underpriced. So if there's not any major value that opens up or anything like that, I'd be looking to go there. But with guys like Goran Dragic and that type of deal that I mentioned earlier in the video, maybe not going there. Minnesota at the Los Angeles Clippers. No Karl-Anthony Towns, and Kawhi Leonard is questionable. If Kawhi's out, of course, that's going to give a big bump to Paul George at 8'5". I think that he would become a top priority of mine on the slate. After getting absolutely blown out last time out, I do think that this Clippers team is going to have something to prove this time around, and it's going to be Paul George at the forefront. So I would have interest in him. If Kawhi's back, I'm definitely going to have interest in Kawhi Leonard. Looking at the total in this game right now, this game comes in with the total's not out. So this game and the Washington-Chicago game, both totals aren't out, and I have a feeling that both totals are going to reflect higher upside than these current lines that are released. So I'm talking as if they do. I think they will. I think both of these games are going to come in with higher over/under. So 8.5-point favorites are the Clippers right now. I would expect Kawhi Leonard to be in, honestly. He just had an issue with his mouth. He took a big hit to the mouth and had a bloody lip type of deal, and he just sat one out. But I would expect him to be back. If he's not, of course, a big bump to Paul George. If he's in, I do have interest in both of these guys, and I do have interest in D'Angelo Russell and Malik Beasley on the other side. They're 1A and 1B in this offense. No Karl-Anthony Towns. D'Angelo Russell has yet to put up a big game, and I think this is the one where he will, because he's going to get all the usage in the offense, a ton of shots, and while the Clippers aren't exactly the best matchup as far as their guard defense, they do have guys that are notoriously good on defense, like a Patrick Beverley, like a Paul George, like a Kawhi Leonard. At 7'6", I think I could still go there. Malik Beasley, very underpriced at 5'9", with his usage I'm expecting him to have. I'm going to have a ton of interest in him. I haven't had many guys that can speak really get excited with all the game flow and stuff so far on the slate, but this is one where I can, because I expect him to definitely do very well at 5'9". And then with no Karl-Anthony Towns, we did see Naz Reid get the start last time out, a guy that's been a very good fantasy point per minute producer. He was only 4.2, and he put up 27 DK points in 28 minutes. At 5'1", he becomes a little less appealing. Could he get there? Yes. Is he underpriced? Not so much. He's pretty appropriately priced, so depending upon the other value that opens up. And then, let's see. Anthony Edwards, a talented young rookie for the Minnesota Timberwolves, went number 1 overall in the draft this year. You could have interest in him at 5'4". He hasn't really put up a huge performance yet, but with no Karl-Anthony Towns, I expect him to get leaned on more heavily. He went 1 for 9 from behind the arc last time out. If he was able to hit 3 or 4 of those, you'd be a lot happier with his performance. So he's a guy you could look to. Lou Williams at 5'1" will be the last one that I would mention. And at 5'1", the sixth man off the bench, he gets all the usage with the second unit. I would definitely be looking at him. A guy that could provide you with a lot of upside. He only played 9 minutes last time in the blowout, but off the bench at 5'1", Lou Williams can get hot and put up 40 DK points real quick for you. So always have interest in him. And Luke Kennard, lastly, if there is no Kawhi Leonard, definitely would be playing some Luke Kennard, a guy that can shoot it from behind the arc and a guy that would get a lot more minutes. So he would be the last one that I'd mention. In this one, we got 2 more games. Moving further along, New Orleans at Phoenix. This game comes in with Devin Booker at the top at 9-1. 223 over-under in this one, with 3.5-point favorites being the Phoenix Suns. So one of the faster games that we've talked about so far, and one of the games where we can definitely predict where the production is coming from. You have Devin Booker at the top at 9-1. I do think he's pretty appropriately priced early on in the season. I think he's a little overpriced, actually, so not really sure I'm looking to go there. Could he put up 70? Yes. Do you need him to put up 70 at this price tag? Pretty much. I mean, 50, 60 you'd be happy with, but at 9-1. I do think that this is out of all games he's played so far, this is the one he could do it, because the New Orleans Pelicans are an up-tempo team. They get out in the fast break and they play very quickly. So I'm not telling you to completely fade him. It's just a matter of if there's value around it and you need him to get that big upside. I do think he could, and I do like him in this one, but price tag's up there. Brandon Ingram at 8-2, I do have a ton of interest in. 53 DK points last time out, and a guy that I think we could consistently see 50 to 60 DK points from this season, so I like Brandon Ingram a lot at 8-2. Zion Williamson, same rule applies. Both of these guys are getting a ton of usage in the offense. 38 minutes the last 2 times off of Zion Williamson. We saw him put up 53 and 44 DK points. And then Chris Paul at 7-1 continues to be underpriced. I talked about Devin Booker, how he's priced appropriately. Chris Paul is underpriced at 7-1. We could see him put up 54 DK points, similar to that time he did on the 26th against Sacramento. And at 7-1, I would be definitely looking at him. Almonzo Ball is a guy I've been promoting the last few times out just because of his price tag. I think he's the most underpriced in the offense. That continues to be true. He put up 43 DK points last time out. He is 6'6 now as compared to 6'2, so slight price tag increase. Don't like him quite as much last time with that price tag, but you can still have interest there. And lastly, Jay Crowder at 4.9, I do think is underpriced for this Phoenix side because he's been getting around 30 minutes. He could definitely put up a big score at that 4.9 price tag. I like him for his price tag. And then JJ Redick at 4.2 on the New Orleans side would be the last guy I mentioned. Really struggling early on, but he did put up 30 DK points opening night. And we've seen his price tag continue to dip. A guy that can shoot it from behind the arc and get hot. At 4.2, he makes a lot of sense. Last game, Denver taking on Sacramento. This game right now, Nikola Jokic at the top at 10-2 after putting up a big performance last night. Triple-double, massive upside from Nikola Jokic. 2.5-point favorites are the Denver Nuggets on a back-to-back at 223.5 over-under. And, Jokic is the guy that you got to always be looking to in this Denver offense. He's involved so much. 72 DK points last night. He had 12 rebounds, 18 assists, 19 points. So 34 minutes, he got to finally rest towards the end of the game with Denver having the game well in hand. And against Sacramento with the front court of Rashawn Holmes in this defense, I'm not really too concerned. I think Jokic can continue to put up a good performance. It's just a matter that he did get a price tag increase from 9.8 to 10.2. But that doesn't scare me off him. This guy's an absolute fantasy point per minute beast. De'Aaron Fox at 7.6 is underpriced. The only problem is he plays with Luke Walton, who I've discussed on this channel before. If you've tuned into my previous videos, I absolutely hate the way he coaches his team. It's like everyone gets 20 minutes, refuses to get his studs the minutes. I mean, De'Aaron Fox is the guy that I think has the most solidified minutes. I'd expect him to get up there more towards the 40-minute range in this one. And at 7.6, he is underpriced compared to 8.7 and 8.1 to start the season. So I definitely do like him. I don't mean to talk you off him with the Luke Walton talk. It's just discouraging. But De'Aaron Fox is the guy I think has the most safe minutes, so don't feel scared playing him. Buddy Hield at 6.8, same thing, mid-30 minutes. Hasn't really put up a big performance yet, but at 6.8, he could definitely get you there. They're expected to stay in this one, so it would be Buddy Hield and De'Aaron Fox getting the most shots. But as far as price tags are concerned and the most underpriced, I do think that Marvin Bagley and Harrison Barnes are the ones that most likely get you there. 27 minutes last time out for Marvin Bagley. He only put up 23 DK points, but he was 5.7. He's down to 5.4 now. He could easily get you 35 DK points, and you'd be really happy with that. Harrison Barnes, Paul Millsap, and Rashawn Holmes to round it out here. 29 minutes for Harrison Barnes. He put up 43 and 30 DK points, so as mentioned, his price tag, I think he can get you there at 5.3. Paul Millsap, same rule applies, 5.3. Put up 24 DK points last time out. His ceiling's a little limited with this deep rotation of Denver, so I'm not sure he's my top option, but he's viable. I mean, I wouldn't really be looking there too often, but. And then Rashawn Holmes at 5K did get a big price increase. He's been seen in the mid-20s. Not really sure I'm looking to go there at 5K. There's probably some other options we can find at the center position. And Hassan Whiteside at 3.7 is underpriced, but the Luke Walton situation is limiting him to 10 minutes a game. So I'm going to continue to fade him until we see him get more minutes. And that is an overall breakdown for me on this 10-game Tuesday night NBA DFS slate on DraftKings. If you enjoyed the content, if you could please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload, that would be greatly appreciated. And I do greatly appreciate the support recently from you guys. Appreciate everyone that's been tuning into the videos and all of the support the channel has been going. It continues to grow, and I really do appreciate that. I'll be here all NBA DFS season long, helping you guys to become better NBA DFS players. Lastly, if you are interested in my Patreon package, you can get access to all my projections, all the stuff that I've been using. In my own research, been doing really good to start the season. Come and join the KJK DFS fam, so to speak. Get access to the Discord chat, all that fun stuff. Link below in the description. Wish you guys all the best of luck tonight, and we will see you in the next one.